You know, they're not indicting me, they're indicting you. I just happen to be standing in their way. That's all it is.
Yes. Still, despite the growing legal troubles surrounding Donald Trump, many in the Republican Party remain steadfast in the support for the former president. In the left wing, they just can't even understand why. NBC host Chuck Todd giving a warning to Republican voters, saying they'll face a rude awakening come election time because of all this. Take a listen.
One of the things we're trying to focus people's attention to is what this calendar is starting to look like in the first 6 months of 2024. I think it is astonishing to me how many people I run into who haven't fully comprehended the fact that we're about to do this. And I think that when it becomes clear that the public's uncomfortable with this, it may be too late.
You know not of what you speak. But thanks for the warning, Chuck. You're wrong, but thanks. In fact, the more indictments come in, the stronger he gets. Take a look at this latest poll. Donald Trump's leading by 37 points over DeSantis. That's not even close. This is more reminiscent of 2016, where everyone was against Trump, and he won. Joining me now to discuss former Trump campaign aide and author of Wicked Game, Rick Gates, and Donald Trump for president attorney and advisor, Christina Bobb. All right, so, Rick, I'm looking at this, and in 2020, there was a lot of problems with insiders saying, oh, no, you got to soften it up, do this, do that. In 2016, there was like 8 people in a room deciding what was best with Trump at the helm. Do you think this is more like 2016?
Absolutely. And I think actually he's doing better now than he was in 2016. When you look at a lot of these polls, he is obviously having an established presence. He has infrastructure in these states. He has financing. None of these things we had in 2016. So as people like Chuck Todd, that's not the first time or the last time you're going to hear that statement. This is the Democrats' attempt to change the narrative because they are worried that Donald Trump, several months ago, who they thought Joe Biden would have no trouble beating, now is in trouble. And now Biden is going to have a very, very difficult time beating him. Even in Pennsylvania, Ohio, key states, Trump is up. And that is even better than we were in a position in 2016.
Well, I don't listen to much of what Senator John Fetterman says, but even he, in his state, is recognizing that there's a real problem in Pennsylvania. Now, Christina, I remember in 2016, you would drive through Pennsylvania. We were on bus tours, Trump signs everywhere. 2020, not as much. Now, even Fetterman can see him.
Yeah, even Fetterman. That's exactly the point. I was in Pennsylvania with President Trump this weekend as he had his rally in Erie, and the place was packed out. There were thousands of people there. Pennsylvania is absolutely Trump country. I didn't see Biden signs anywhere. And I think it's really hard for people to get behind Biden with everything that's happening and all of the corruption that's coming out. I think people are starting to recognize that Biden ain't it. He doesn't have it. And the folks in Pennsylvania very much support Donald Trump.
Old Scranton Joe. All right, so Rick, Bill Barr, I read this and I was like, oh, gosh. All right, so he's threatening to jump off a bridge if Trump becomes the 2024 Republican nominee. Get the recovery boats ready, I guess. It looks pretty definitive.
Yeah, look, I'm glad you raised this, Carl. This is a great example of how the media can twist words and manipulate. And they took, Barr's comments out of context. He was talking about jumping off a bridge in terms of making a decision when he gets to it, in terms of choosing between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But it just goes to show you that these are the types of people that are out there talking the Democrats are trying to use that have no real gauge of how the American people are feeling and how they will vote. And that's completely different from the people like Bill Barr who are saying, I can't vote for Trump again. That's not the Republican base. That's where they're off. But
Christina, real quick, people are angry. They're tired of paying $1 more for gas. Everything costs more. Everything sucks more. They're angry.
They are. They are, and they're angry that the Biden administration is targeting aspects of Donald Trump that they don't care about. To your point, they care about gas prices, they care about food, they care about education, they care about the economy. And Biden's administration and Congress is focusing on aliens and Donald Trump, who is in lawful possession of his own records in his own house. And people are angry with the way that the government is going. And I think Donald Trump is poised and ready to retake the White House.
Yeah, and he positions himself perfectly as like, look, they're indicting you, but I'm in the way.
Yeah.
Rick, Christina, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right.